What's going on, everybody? Today we are going to talk about Barcelona and Bayern Munich. Well, mostly about Barcelona now. Obviously, the game is done with. Finished 8-2 in the end. Now, if you watch my prediction video for the Champions League that I put out about a week ago, I actually thought Barcelona were going to go out to Napoli. There are so many problems here. So many problems that it's just... it all compounds right here. And this reminds me a lot of the Brazil game, the 7-1, and for different reasons. One being that Brazil team was scraping through, and I just kept waiting for someone to punish them. Poor defense, as we said, just scraping through almost on the crowd noise, the crowd willing them to wins that they really didn't deserve, not playing particularly well, and then eventually Germany came along and just hammered them. This reminds me a little bit of that, but this one's a little bit more straightforward to me in terms of what was coming in a way. It's obvious that these players don't connect with this manager at all. It is obvious, and I will be stunned if the manager is here at the club at the end of tomorrow. There is almost zero chance he will be here at the end of tomorrow. Number two, there are rumblings all over the place after Lionel Messi rejected that contract offer or postponed negotiations or whatever he may have done on that 2-year deal, that he may be done here. He says all the time out loud that he wants to be at a place where they're going to win the Champions League again. Suarez came out very recently and said something similar. He just wants to compete for the Champions League, and if he has to move on, he has to move on. That sort of stuff, it's just been coming. And number three, I think, on this is this transfer strategy here at Barcelona is a huge mess, and they get worse seemingly every year. It seems every year they get worse, and they're just looking to spend money on players to kind of bring in. That humongous bid for Richarlison was a huge red flag for me. £100 million that they bid for Richarlison in January. That is a huge red flag for me, and not because Richarlison's a bad player or anything, but they are just so desperate to try and bring in some attacking quality. They ended up bringing in Braithwaite that to come in, and he did nothing, and he's moved on, or he's looking like he's going to move on. $20 million they paid for him. It's just, there are so many problems top to bottom. The whole thing with Arthur is pretty remarkable to me. That swap makes no sense to me. Pjanic and $10 million for Arthur, Pjanic may be a better player slightly, but he's not, he's not worth what is moving for. If you moved Arthur, or if you're Juventus, you're laughing, right? All the way to the bank. It's a way older player. You get in a younger player who is right on the level, maybe not as good, maybe his range of passing isn't as great, but he's younger. You're getting wages off the bill. I imagine that Arthur's wages coming in aren't wildly crazy compared to Pjanic's. It's not like a huge wage increase, I imagine. The price is very good for what it is. Pjanic and $9 or $10 million. They were laughing all day with that, and everyone's still wondering what Barca's doing. There doesn't seem to be anybody at the head of the ship here. It just doesn't seem that way. And today when they played Bayern, all the older players, Busquets, Piqué, Messi, everyone just kind of stood around and let this happen. There was no fight. There was no, pointing around, trying to get everybody back up. It was like as soon as the second Bayern goal went in, they were gone, and that was it. And they didn't seem slightly interested. And we bring back the comparison to the Germany game. When the second goal went in and the third goal went in that Germany game, you could physically see Brazil slump and almost fade from existence. It was just a slump, and then they just let it happen to them. And that's how Barca was today. After the third goal and after the fifth goal, it was nothing. And it was a lot like what Bayern did to Tottenham. And we are not going to take anything away from Bayern, because Bayern are an incredible team, and I personally think for a while I've been saying I think they're going to win this tournament. I think they're currently the best team in the world, or one of. Obviously, this is a different type of situation. It's a different tournament, but they've shown in this tournament already this year that they are ready to go and ready to eliminate anyone. I think they are going to rip through City's defense a lot like they ripped through Barca's today. City have a really poor defense. I expect them to be yanked and thrown all over the place. I think Pep is going to play a little bit more defensively than he normally does, but that I actually talk about that game a little bit in that video, so if you want to go watch that video, go watch that video. But this is 100% about Barcelona, or 99% about Barcelona, and what's going to happen. I mean, where do you go from here? I think they've made a really poor decision spending all that money on Griezmann. I don't think Griezmann is Barcelona quality myself. I think personally he shined in a very, defense-heavy type of system in Atletico Madrid. He was always sticking out to me because he was the only player seemingly with any guile going forward because of how defensively based they are. So I think he just stood out a little bit more than he needed to, or than he would have maybe other places, but I don't think he's worth it. Suarez is way older now. Dembele is injury-prone, egotistical, good player, but it's tough. Busquets is up there now. Piqué is up there now. Jordi Alba's up there now. This is a really old team all of a sudden. Not like Juventus old, because they are wildly old, but this all of a sudden is an old team. And Messi will be gone very, very soon. Messi seems like someone who is completely fed up at the Champions League's problems that they have here. If I wanted to guess, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that he's leaving this summer. I personally, next summer, the latest for me. I don't think he's there at the end of next summer, and that'll be it for him there. Whether he goes somewhere else to challenge or whatever it may be, we'll see. But I don't think he's there in a year. I don't. These players need to be replaced. The manager certainly needs to be replaced. The manager, from the get-go, it seemed with Setien that he was a problem. No, he may not have been a problem, but the players thought this isn't going to work. Right off the bat, it seemed that way. And it unfolded exactly how most of us expected it to with him. After the first couple of weeks of him in charge, there's even that video where the assistant's talking to Messi and he's just he turns and walks away twice. Messi, there's zero respect in a place like that, and in a club like that with a lot of really good players and a lot of egos around, you got to come in and garner respect right off the bat, and it was obviously that he didn't, and it's he'll be gone. I think the board, a lot of people don't know it, but don't discuss it as often or whatever, because Barcelona have whatever pull they want, but this team isn't filled to the brim with money. This team has money problems. It's not going to spend an absurd amount of money every year to keep up. And Messi, all year long, he's been carrying this team a lot. There are times where if he's not on the pitch, they're getting blown away. But Messi has been carrying them, and he seems fed up, and today he couldn't carry them. He gave up. He gives up relatively easily today. As we said, a lot of the older players, they just gave up today. It just seems like a mismatch of players that they were just trying to spend money on to avoid what's happening right now, and they've just bought poorly. That's what it seems like. It's very strange. I don't get the transfer policy at all. I think it's a mess. I think that needs to be redone. I think top to bottom, a lot of this has to be redone. If I'm Barcelona, there are a ton of players I'm moving on. It's just that. There are a lot of players I'm moving on. You need to get way younger. You need a new manager. You need a new transfer strategy. You need a new board, maybe. There are problems with the board all the time, it seems. you need new everything. And I don't know how long this is. I tweeted out earlier that this team isn't going to get anywhere near a Champions League final in the next half decade, at least. This team needs a huge rebuild, a huge rebuild, a 4 or 5 year rebuild. And there are going to be some serious growing pains here, especially when Messi leaves. There are going to be some serious growing pains here. And I don't know how many Barca fans are, a lot of this generation's Barca fans don't know what it's like to have a not so great team, a team that just challenges for the top 4 kind of thing. But Barcelona are about to go through that. It is very close. And we'll see what happens, guys. Let me know how you guys feel. Let me know what you guys think needs to be changed here. What you guys think about Messi, all that stuff. Let me know. But for now, guys, that is it. So peace.